some very nice experiences here in the last few days. I mean, by visiting hundreds and thousands of people. But we're in the middle of it. We were almost trying to decide whether or not we should be on the road right now when we left a week and a half ago. Because it's very bad to be halfway across the country away from our power base with what might be happening in our homes. But we had to balance that with the fact that we can't stop right up until the last minute to try and organize better and to bring the Patriot movement in the same direction. To understand, there's a problem I have, and you all heard different things, and I want to touch on this to really help here. Thank you. I have heard this time and again, and I do not want to ever hear this, and you will not hear me dwell on this subject. We will not backbite each other. We must not have fighting amongst the Patriot elements.
That's right.
Your enemy laughs at you when he sees that. He's laughing all the way to the bank when he sees that. He's chortling in his pocket. We may have disagreements amongst ourselves. We must talk privately about that. Okay? Now, there are some things that are not acceptable that have to be contained. But, overall, we must show a consolidated effort in which we have a common goal. And don't forget that. Okay? Even if we may not fully enjoy what it is that somebody's saying over here, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And if that person's busy dealing with the same problem you're dealing with, that's that many more bullets going down range that you don't have to worry about. They're going the right way, not over here. Okay? So keep that in mind always. Yes?
Question. What is the degree of trust or control the UN has over its foreign forces? Because wouldn't that be actually embarrassing to them that they ship foreign troops over here, and the first thing they do is walk over to us and say, "Hi, I want to join you."
Yep, exactly. What they have to do is create a sense of futility. They've been trying to do this for a long time. If you look at it, it's like the Star Trek with the Borg. It is futile to resist. You shall be absorbed. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, in reality, it's futile to send some of the troops over here sometimes. The best example, the Hessians were, if you recall, the Hessians were German citizens, or in other words, German peasants, who were conscripted by their princes and sold to the British government as mercenaries. They didn't sell themselves. Their princes sold them. When they were in British service, they came over here, and the British told them that, oh, the Americans are such heathens that they will capture you and skin you alive and eat your flesh while you're still breathing and then butcher you the rest of the way. Well, they got over here and they found out that, well, gee, we got legs and arms just like everybody else. We were breathing, living people. And in fact, we were very happy to have new citizens. And so there were many Hessians who surrendered, came over to our side, and either fought the rest of the war or at least were not an asset for the enemy. Because they knew where they came from, they would never be free at the time. So they came over to us. And the same problem they have right now. It's the same situation. They're scared of that too.
And one more question in line with this. Like, as you know, probably there'll be some Americans who will be kowtowing to the New World Order, like or not. But how many of them are actually kowtowing? How many of them are actually part of us? But they're using what's the term? The intelligence gathering role,
right?
Like that.
That's where
we don't have to actually maybe shoot them ourselves.
Exactly. That's where there's a problem, and you'll have to deal with that locally. There's a fine line there too. Yeah. There is such thing as a double agent also. Yeah. People who will make you believe they're working for either side when either side's winning. Mm-hmm. You know, the flag over here.
Yeah. That is good.
It's like if you're in France, if you remember Alsace-Lorraine, invaded by the Germans and French so many times, they just kept two flags. Mm-hmm. Here they come again. Here they come again.
You get the wrong flag.
That's right. Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. Then better be the right flag. Yes. Otherwise, you do go to jail. That's right. Yes.
How can we indoctrinate these white Anglo-Saxon Protestants?
Okay. Well, the Christian population. There's how many hands we have up first? That's much.
What?
Right. Okay. Well, questions. Okay. The problem you're probably running into is some people saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do anything because everything will be fine," and they say I should be a lily of the field and I shouldn't do anything. Well, you know what? If you leave the gate open, the wolves come and eat your lunch. And what I'll use, and I think I'll give you the best example that I have found in my personal faith, this is what I believe, is the parable of the Good Shepherd. You all know the parable of the Good Shepherd because if you've been to Sunday school, it's been taught to you a dozen times in your youth.
Tell us anyway.
Well, we'll tell you because this is how it works. The shepherd knew that a lamb was missing, and he realized that he was in the wilderness up on the rocks. So risking everything in the whole flock, he left the flock to go save the one lamb. And he crawled up on the rocks, and he took the little lamb and threw him over his shoulders, and he brought the little lamb down to the bottom of the hill. And when he was done, the wolves were waiting. He grabbed the lamb and threw it to him, didn't he? That's not how it works, is it? The Good Shepherd parable was meant to explain to you that you have an obligation and that you have a position that you are beholden to. And you must understand the history of being a Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd at night would find a safe place with 3 walls, like a valley or a rock wall, that he could protect the lambs and put them in. And then he usually made a corral out of rock. And traditionally, if you look in the Bible, you remember that those areas were special to that family. That was that shepherd's place to hold his flock, and he kept them there. At night, he didn't walk home, punch the clock, and, well, whatever happens to the sheep happens to the sheep. He became the physical fence. He became the gate at the entranceway, and he lay there through the night. They took turns, but he was there for a reason, because eventually he knew that there would be a threat to the flock. Either thieves, which weren't as common, but there were still predators such as wolves and other animals. And so his job was to wait. Now, he didn't have to go anywhere for trouble, because as a good shepherd, he had something precious to take care of. And the wolves would come anyway. Now, did he take one of his precious lambs that he just saved off the rocks and throw it as a sacrifice to the wolves to keep them busy? No. Did he compromise in any way with the wolves? If he did, he wasn't a good shepherd, and his family would starve, and in fact probably the community would too, because the shepherd had a mission to produce food for the people. And so instead he took his wolf stick, his shepherd staff, and he went out and he did battle with the wolf, and if he could, he killed it to destroy a threat to the flock. He didn't go out looking for them because he didn't have to go looking for them. He could not compromise with them because you cannot compromise with evil. Ever. And so in the end, he had to resist. Now, when he killed the wolf, does that mean it was the end of the story? No, because there were a lot of wolves out there. And the next night, they were out there again. So he had to be the good shepherd every night, and he had to be diligent. And when he was done, just like we're talking about our nation today, he passed that shepherd staff off to his son, and his son to his son, and they maintained their vigilance every day.
I cry for my country, for the pain that it's been through. She's been made to suffer for the profit of a few. Storm clouds are forming, winds of change now touch our shores. I hear forefathers are crying as the dream's been cruised. America.